Hey, there we go. Wow, that was harder than it should have been. Okay, cool. Almost ready, you guys. YouTube was fighting me this morning, and now it's good. I just want to share the stream. Huh. What a trip. It's actually not sharing. Paul, good morning. Do you sharpen your customers now or at 17 degrees? I usually sharpen lower than 17 degrees, but it's somewhere in there. The main point is it's consistent. So I see the stream, I see it's live, and I see people are watching it, but I don't see is what I don't see is I just don't see it out on YouTube so that I can share the link with people, which is kind of stupid. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. I know what's going on. It's got the thumbnail from the previous one. I see it. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Sorry for the delay here with the stream.
Motion detected at the backyard.
There we go. Okay, at least I got a little share of that. And okay, good enough. Yeah, we can start with that, kinda. I'm one piece of the puzzle short. I was hoping to use my I'm trying to do multiple things at once, as usual. So the reason why I'm multi-streaming to Kick there we go. I got YouTube going now, so I can do both at the same time. So the webcam works great. It's got a clear picture. I got my microphone. We got clear audio. Hopefully it's a little clearer. Yep, that should be good, clear audio. And, but I can't move you around because you're stuck there. I think guys make things too complicated. Really. Says the guy that's got 3 computers, 2 webcams. I'm going to boot up this little laptop so I can have chat. And then I cleaned up all my tools, probably a little too good. No, that's it. Okay. The other thing is I'm used to making YouTube videos where I got to get the information out to you really quick, and it's got to be really packed in, and the information's got to be there. And 3-minute videos or little YouTube shorts are bam, 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 and done. See ya. And this is a completely different deal. I'm not used to it. I mean, I like it. I like there we go. Yeah, there we go. And I got you guys adjusted a little bit, so I can at least read the comments out here, not from the main computer. So I'll just back up. I can't get you any closer, so we'll just have to go with that. But this is the way it works. So this is your Platen, and the Platen attaches right here with 2 screws, just like that. That's your Platen. There you go. Okay. That's stock. If you take out this screw right up here, it's actually a smaller, I keep saying screw, it's a hex head Allen nut. Remove the one right here, it's smaller. Take out this one down on the bottom, or you can take out, it don't matter. The point being, you just take off your Platen. Okay, there's your Platen. You're going to have to grind off 2 to 3 millimeters off the top. You don't need to grind off any off the bottom, but you need to grind off a little bit off the top, so when you slide the angle guide down over the top, it doesn't hit the upper roller. Okay? So this is your clearance right here, and you need to grind a little bit of material off the top, and then you need, I had to, some guys said they didn't have to, but I ground a little bit of material off the back. Okay, that just allows it to have a wedge shape so that the spring clip can wedge underneath and lock all the way into place. Now you probably could hammer that on there and bend this clip and get it all the way up there, but the main thing is you want this firmly onto the Platen, And then we're going to take and we're going to screw, hex head, screw this back into position, and it's going to have clearance underneath the top wheel. Just like that. Okay. Lock it into place. That's safe. Belt's moving, comes down behind the angle guide. The angle guide is now attached to the frame of the machine. Yes, it's only attached with one screw. The upper one is pushing against the arm there. It's fine. The main thing is it's not being attached by magnets or glue or JB weld or anything. It's physically, mechanically attached. There's no way for this to come off. Now, I can't say for sure that if the belt and the knife were to catch, if a magnet or a glue would hold, but I know for sure that if you have a Platen that's solid to the frame and the angle guide, then the belt and the knife will separate and they won't do damage to you, in theory. So it wasn't that hard. I just ground a little bit of material off, grounded a little thinner, slid the angle guide down over the top, and that's rock and roll right there. All right, you guys, that's that question. Nice. Let's see. So we are officially open. It's 10 a.m. Woohoo. My air conditioner's working today. That's always a good start. Let's see what we got for today. There we go. So we got a pocket knife. Perfect. So, I mean, these are just like every one of us sees that's working in the field. This is an older buck, 110. You get a lot of knockoffs. Sometimes you'll get ones that say Pakistan right on them. This says buck on it. The tip has been broken and they've elf shooted at one point or another. I can see that a little bit. Maybe we can try and straighten out that elf shoe a little bit. You see how it kind of curves a little bit more, you know? It's actually fine, but the main thing you want to watch out for, in fact, this may have been one I did many years ago, but you grind down right there so that the tip doesn't stick out. Boy, it is gummy. Sometimes I'll use rubbing alcohol to clean up the gunk, because rubbing alcohol will go, and you can look down in there too and see what you see. There we go. So the rubbing alcohol loosened up whatever was down in there, and then that'll evaporate. So here's the thing. I want to do the most to this in the least amount of time. I want my customer to be happy. I want my customer to be impressed. And I also don't want to spend an hour on this thing. So I've cleaned up the pivot. I put some oil down in there. Already, when he gets this back and he opens it up, he's going to go, oh, wow. Okay. So we've got it mechanically better. I'm going to leave the patina or the natural scratches. I'm going to buff and polish the primary surfaces and give this thing a new finish. I'm going to use the 600 grit. Can you guys see that okay on camera? Is it showing up? I've got a little, there we go, got a little extra light. If that doesn't wash it out too bad. So it's tarnished. It's just an older tarnished piece. 600 grit wheel. Even when I got the knife closed, I'm being very careful of which way the tip is pointing. So I'm going to have the tip pointing that way. So I did the one scale, I'll do the back. I'm calling it a scale, but it's one side of the brass. I'll do the other side. I'll do the top. Maybe down in the little sides. Flip it over. Lightly hit the little nuggets, rivets, and now I'm going to carefully do the one side, back side, other side. Then I'm going to open it. I'm going to do down in here. So I've given it a quick polish all the way around. And then we'll bring it over to the buff wheel. I'm avoiding hitting the wood handle. I noticed that the wood polished up really good, so I'm just going to lightly hit that as well. Kind of inspect the whole thing. There we go. And then I'll just hit it with the rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol dissolves a lot of residue, and I've used it since I did electronic repair years ago. One of the main things about rubbing alcohol is when it evaporates, it leaves no residue, technically, kind of. Even got some rust down in the pivot there, coming out, little rust juice. Okay. So that was Scotch-Brite and a polish. Oh, got some crud down the end. It's going to tarnish up again. I can tell this guy uses it just because he's using the base of it as a hammer. It's got all dents and stuff in it, which is cool. All right, now I'll go ahead and sharpen it. That's funny. He's been using it for a hammer. The main thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to gently profile this. I might even put a little bit less of a curve, drop that down just right there. Let me grab my safety glasses. Purple belts. Are you talking about a Bora? B-O-R-A belt? They're just a ceramic. They don't function or work as well as the Cubitrons for sure. All right, I'm just gonna change this profile up just a hair. Get my water. There we go. Nice. There we go. So I'm just cutting in with the, because I've seen this knife before, the angles match. Just taking out a little bit extra out of that spot right there. Everybody always asks, that's the Cubitron P120. That's a Trizac A30. This can be a leather or a felt belt, but then I use 3 micron. Okay, there we go. So I've reduced the belly. I've got a nice clean curve. Got your point, a little bit pokier. Definitely not elf shoe. For the bite, you can check and see if it sticks to the arm hair, shaves, but I'm more interested in how it drags across the thumbnail, and if you got a sticky bite on that there. When you close it in, the thing I'm noticing here is you want to make sure it goes all the way in. You don't want that tip sticking out. That's a bad news deal. And this knife still, there it goes. If you need to clean it out, use whatever you got to. You want to, there, you hear that? That's what you want to hear. You don't want to hear it hitting something soft or going halfway in. And that's a big deal. Because if you go and close that pocket knife, and then he puts that in his pocket, and a lot of guys put them tip up, and that nasty bastard's sticking out like that, that'll split you wide open. That'll send you to the emergency room. So the spring can be a little bit soft over time. You guys know what I'm trying to say, the back spring. But the detent, it's got to go all the way in when you close it, or else somebody's going to get hurt. Nice. Here we got a basic kitchen knife. I think the theme of the day is elf shoe. Hopefully that'll show up on camera. And you can see the tip the last 1/4 inch or so actually curves over, and that's usually from whetstone and from lifting up at the end or curving too far around. It's not uncommon. What that means is that when they go to use this on a cutting board, the tip actually won't touch the cutting board no matter what they do. You'd have to lift it up to here to get the tip to hit the cutting board. So we're just going to reshape that. I like to focus a lot on reshaping. I know some guys like to focus a lot on the thinning. This knife is thin. Very thin. But that overall shape isn't going to do anybody any help. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've actually done the sharpening. We've apexed. I don't need to grind any more material off the knife from here to here. But the last inch or two, I'm going to do that same thing where I'm just going to blend it down, down, down until I get to the tip. And you're going to watch it right now in real time. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, flip it over and go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So what I did is I took that elf shoe. I'm probably take a little bit more material out just right there. But now you have a clean swoop.
Cliff, here is your reminder. Order more boxes.
Thank you, Alexa. So that's one of the benefits of the edge leading angle guide that I don't think people really can appreciate, is the ability for it to allow you to come up and just touch and to control exactly how much material you remove from exactly where you want to remove it. So I removed just a little bit more right in there just by going like that and then like that. Hopefully that showed up on the camera, but now you can see we got a clean profile and we did not remove excess material. We just reshaped where we wanted it to. Down and back. Since the bevel's so small, that amount right there on the A30 belt refines the scratch pattern. That'll give you a bitey edge. If you want it to be slightly more fine, you can go to a final leather belt, but or wheel or felt wheel. The thing with wheels is the minute you touch a blade to a wheel, the concentrated force and the point of impact do 5 times as much as what a belt will do. So I left it just with that little bit of bite on it. Clean, symmetrical bevels, needle point tip. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's see what we got next. We got a pair of scissors. Oh, and my favorite, when they put it inside a paper towel roll and it rattles around in there. Oh, and it's a Cuisinart. Adorable. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, so conventionally, Western kitchen knives being at 20 degrees is ridiculous. No offense. Here's a machete that I use for a guy. I've been sharpening it for about 10 years now. This guy is chopping, and it's a thicker chunk of steel, but it's been chopping coconuts, And if I had to ask you what angle you'd think that would be at, you'd probably say 25. And if I told you that this thing is sharpened at 18 degrees, it would, freak people out. 18 degrees or lower, and this steel impacting that surface can handle it. Most kitchen knives can handle being between 15 and 17 degrees. The reason why I know that is when I see them and they come back to me, they are not chipped or rolled. If I see an edge that is chipped or rolled, and you'll see it buckled, then you've went too thin. If it isn't too thin, and you've decreased the angle, and all you have is blunting damage up on the surface from normal abrasion and normal wear, then what you've done is you've got a better long-lasting edge. The lower the angle, the higher the cutting performance, and the longer it will stay sharp. And that is not debatable. I mean, it's discussable. But, well, if you're worried about bevel width, that's a whole nother thing. If you're decreasing the angle on a pocket knife and the bevel looks bigger, well, if it's a custom pocket knife, don't do that. Match the angle that's on there if it's a very expensive pocket knife. If it's a buck knife and you drop the angle and the bevel's bigger, that's because what you did is to improve its cutting performance. If you change it from 19 degrees to 17 degrees and you say the bevel looks wider, but the bevel's wider because you lowered the angles and it's going to cut better, they're probably going to say thank you. All right, scissors. Let's do the knife first. First thing I do is I'm already looking at it. No major chips. It's just dull as a butter knife. I can see light reflecting back off the surface. Down and back. Down and back. Damage is gone. When I say damage, I mean the apex, the damage is gone, and we've re-apexed the bevels. Once you've got an apex, if you keep going, you're just removing more material than necessary. So here's a weird one. The scissors don't open all the way. If they open all the way, I'll put them here, and sometimes you can do that. I guess that last little bit. I'm not holding at 90 degrees. I'm actually holding slightly down, so I put a little bit of a bevel at about 15 degrees on there. Different degrees from knives. 15 degrees is just short of 45, so it'd be more like 30, if that makes sense. Everything's at 90. If you do need to get in, you can always come from the top. Do not hit it down in the crotch or it'll catch, but you'll notice I'm also holding it edge trailing a little bit down. And then once you get the burr up, then you just can close that burr gently. I got one more tip for you on the pocket knives too, though. Let me finish this one up. Strap. Then you got to remember to call your customers when you get done too. What do we got? Oh, so here's the pocket knife tip. Hopefully this will show up. I know you guys are a little far away. So pocket knives typically have a flat and then what knife makers call the primary grind. Then you have your edge bevel or your secondary grind. And so we're sharpening and recreating the apex bevel, the secondary bevel, but the primary grind of a knife, to me, is always where the knife maker did the primary grind, where they ground in the primary bevels of the knife. So when you set this on the angle guide, you can set on the flat, let's say this is at 15 degrees, okay? With your digital angle guide, this is at 15 degrees. If I go on the flat, and then I bring it up, then I'm going to be sharpening this apex bevel at 15 degrees. Now if I push in and I put the knife on the primary grind, I've increased about 2 degrees, just about. It depends on the knife, depends on the grind, but I went from 15 degrees. If I push in, I've got a consistent solid surface, and now I'm sharpening at closer to 17 degrees. We're wider. So if you don't want to do a super thin, wide bevel, and some knives like K-bars and other knives, you definitely don't want to go that low, because you'll end up with a bevel that is 2 to 3 millimeter, quarter-inch wide, and it will look horrible. You'd be better off doing a full convex at that point. But if you have a knife and you want to give it a stronger edge, like a meat cleaver or a hard use knife, then you could go on the bevel and then come in at 17 degrees. Hey there.
How you doing?
Good. You guys called me earlier?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see what you got.
Right here.
Okay, let me hook you up.
How you doing today?
Good.
So how long have you been here?
We've been here at this location for almost a year.
Okay.
We were down on Hana Highway and Derry Road prior to that for almost a year as well.
Okay.
But we had to relocate. The air conditioner died.
Oh, glad you know you're here, but they said cook mayonnaise, ain't nobody doing. I found you. I said that's why I'm coming.
No, they don't. What'd you do to the pick? What happened?
That thing is big like that. Somebody did something to it. I just tried to use it. I was like, oh man, should just get a new one.
I would go find me a crack in the concrete or something, and I would bend it back.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll put an edge on there, and I'll put an edge on here. Sorry, I'm trying to do 3 things here. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, I don't.
Somebody get something.
Well, it's not a super strong. I mean, we've been doing a lot of work around the house, and so pick. But if you try to, what they tried to do is they probably tried to pry up a big rock.
Okay.
And they should not have.
I got a guy that say you can sharpen up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring my sword in for you. Sharpen it up for me.
I can sharpen all those things. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to go to a coarser grip belt for this pickaxe. These are pretty straightforward to do. Yeah, I hear you. Always make sure things aren't going to fall apart on you while you're trying to do them. Hey, good morning. Bring up a bevel. I will be right with you. You got some things. Are you dropping off or picking up? Or you're going to have me do them?
Yeah.
Go ahead and bust them out. I'll knock them out here in just a second. Pickaxes aren't too hard. They're kind of like lawnmowers. Just bring up a burr. And then for the other side, basically just look at the surface of what you're doing. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. You don't want to change the outside angle too much. come in on the sides. This thing's all bent up. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So how much are your stands for the swords?
They come with them. They're I don't have any stands by themselves at the moment, but
How much are these swords?
let me, when I come up there, I'll check them out with you. Where's the safety on that thing? Oh, there it is. Duh.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's my line.
Duh. All right. Same deal as those scissors. You can't really get down in there, so I can't do them on that machine. So we'll do them over here. Just have to be careful when you get right down into the crotch. Bring up a burr. And when you close them together, that'll cut that burr off. Make sure they're poppy sharp, feel good. They don't feel crisp, just bring it up again. There we go. You can also look and check and see if you got reflections on the light there. There you go.
Ready.
20 bucks. Thank you, sir.
So how much is the sword you can
Each sword's got a different price on it. Let me check and see. I think these run $250.
Okay, and that's with the stand.
That's with the stand.
Okay.
They're decorative display items. They don't have an edge on them.
Okay.
But they are you can put an edge on them, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Because mine is, I got a little looseness here. Could you tighten it up for me?
It depends. I'd have to see it.
All right, I'll bring it in a minute.
Yeah. Bring it in. Let me take a look.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You got it, sir. Enjoy. Next. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm doing a live stream video. I'll keep you off camera today.
Some of them is quick touch up, but this one,
Yeah.
kind of need this one and this one, but these are just touch up.
Okay, so just put the sharpen, and then what's going on with these boys? Oh, they're dull.
Yeah.
Okay, so just make them all sharp, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They don't need thin or nothing.
No.
Okay, easy. Let me do them. Be right back. How you been?
Good, how are you?
Things are busy. recurve. Can't do a recurve into a belt. Nice and easy. How's work? Things picking up at all, or?
Summertime, yeah. Slowly.
Yeah, it seems like this year I haven't heard everyone getting slammed. Usually people come in and they're like, "Oh, bro, you know, slammed," and
Yeah, we got hit a couple times, but
not as much though. Boom, 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 boom.
then we need to come back to get this sharpened.
There you go. How we got the good stick on the bite on the edge? Fine bite.
I use this
Yep.
and this knife a lot for protein.
This one's, I can see why. This one's got a cool, yeah. Yeah. Fine, you got a fine razor edge on that one. And then they all do. I just, for you, I usually give them a little bit less bite. Not less bite, more refined bite. You can feel I can feel it biting in, but it's not as,
This one's not as sharp.
let me see. What's up? Yeah. Let me take a little bit of the, see, that's where I'm always saying you can over polish. I recently switched to leather. Yeah. And so it's got a subtle, it's just very subtle how it changes. You have to change your angle. I think that's better. I can make it more toothy, but I don't want to leave you.
I kind of want that one like. I kind of need this one for like fine. Do you have any knife that's like a Deba? Do you have a Deba on you?
I don't have any Debas at the moment. I think that's very sharp. I think you'll be good with that. We had Debas. I had so many Debas, and then they didn't sell for the longest time. And then we finally sold them. I just need to restock. I don't have many of anything. Because you're looking for like a fish breaker, yeah?
Yeah.
I can bring in. I mean, I have to make an order with Tajiro. Tajiro makes some really good Debas. They make one that's in the chromium and one that's in the high carbon. So you can either have the traditional. A lot of guys like the one that's got a little more chromium content because it doesn't rust as easy. There's some really, you know the Tajiros, man. They got all the action. I might run a sale on the fancy ones. Yeah, the ones that are the Damascus, the two-tone, because they're priced out of people's pocket. But I've had them now for a year to 2 years, and I'd like to see them move. So maybe I'll put a special sale on those things. Have to figure out when I would do the sale, but maybe I'll do a sale on them. Let's. I got you. $30 is my deal of the day for you, good sir. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. And
You have any
the sheaths?
Yeah.
Maybe. I've just been running out of everything. There's a card and there's your receipt. And you need a little one for that one, huh? I don't know if I got any little ones. I got just a very few of the big giant ones left. You know what I do have though?
Oh, I want one for one of those.
Okay. Let's see.
I'll buy one.
Okay. Let's go with one of those. There's a big one. I can cut it down to size too if you need it trimmed down.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how much we gotta cut. Right about
here.
Right about there, yeah. Go a little long. Custom. There you go. And then for the little guy, I got these. Let me get those scissors. Ooh, yeah, it just doesn't seem that crowded this year yet.
Yeah, I came in yesterday. I was like, I missed him.
Oh no, Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's my day. She takes care of everything on the other days.
Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Yeah, you might want. Do you have one for the fillet? You already have one for your fillet. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. We'll get you upgraded beyond that for next time. Sorry about that. It's pretty ghetto, but it'll do the job for you. Yeah. I had. I do. Actually, I do.
I'm gonna go like this.
You can. I think these work better though. And because this one's wider, that one should. Let me see how long the blade is. About yay. Try that. There you go. Less ghetto. Careful. Careful grabbing a paper sheath and sliding it down onto a knife. Yeah. That'll take care of you. That one's on me. No, nothing. That's on me.
Are you sure?
Yep. And we'll get more of those in. And yeah, we'll be doing a new order, and then we'll bring in some new Debas too. We just got to restock. What we've been trying to do is, because we had so much stock inventory over at the other place, when we moved here, everything slowed down. So I've been trying to sell everything off. And we're at that point where we're almost empty, and then we can restock with new inventory. But then I got all these. This was a buddy's, another knife sharpener on the mainland, and we're selling these for him. And these are all butcher knives and hunting knives.
Can I see?
Yeah.
That one, yes.
Yep. So these are the Ivos. And they've got a real interesting, in fact, I took 3 of them home. What they have is they have a real thin tapered geometry and the scalloped Grantons for food release. So
like one of these kind of
I think they're like a lightsaber, to be honest. I mean, this would be for meat or fish. And because I do a lot of brisket, the other thing I like is the rubberized handle. Feel the handle again. It's not plastic. It's really a good handle. These are absolutely kick-ass knives, and their prices are stupid. Oh, here we go. I can see it coming now. Trouble. Grandma. Hello. Watch your step. Here we go.
I'll see you later.
Okay, I have these, and I have some more over on the other side, and boom, bye.
All right. Good.
All right, brother. See you, man. Hey.
Hi.
How can I help? Thank you. Be right back.
Yeah.
How'd you know I was here today?
I didn't. I just was lucky, I guess.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Only
Well, you can drop off on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah. If you want to get crazy about it, you can push the burr off, but I like to actually cut the burr off. Sharp, sharp. I remember these ones. We loosened the pivot on these so that they work better. How they been? Okay, good.
that one's my favorite. I can really do some destruction with that.
Well, this is one of the meanest machines I've ever seen. I mean, it's got a huge jaw on it, and it's got a double pivot.
Yeah.
We have a double pivot pair, but the only thing I found is that when I get up high and you try to open them up far enough.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Double pivot.
What are these things?
They're called lanyards. Knife guys will sometimes put them on there's a little hole on the back end, and they're for decorations. You know, they say boys don't like pretty things, but you'll get these guys that decorate their knives with little pretty lanyards and stuff. These ones haven't sold as well, but the octopuses are kind of cool.
Yeah, well,
just from a jewelry point of view. What they do is it's copper. And then they force the patina on it with ammonia fumes that causes this beautiful turquoising, and then they buff and polish some of it back off.
How much are they?
30, the copper 30, and the one is 40.
All right.
They're not too bad.
Oh, they're pretty. They are nice.
You, my dear, are going to be $15.
Hey, that's perfect. Now I can go back out and do more destruction.
There we go.
Those weeds, they just never stop growing.
No, they don't. And the place we moved to, we got, I don't know if I told you, but we got a utility trailer.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that.
That's okay. No, you're good. I didn't have the thing ready to go. There you go. And because the landscaper said, we'll come and do your property for $1,000 a month. My wife loves plants, we'll do it ourselves. But we realized really quickly, every week we have a full trailer load of Areca palm every week. It's those damn palm trees.
Yeah, we've got tulip trees and calicoa.
Oh, interesting.
So the invasives. And they are on all the properties surrounding me. So after a big wind and a few,
do you find
all those seeds are everywhere.
Yeah, that's true too. Do you find that people that are doing landscaping and stuff, they have, like when we cut some of our just stuff that we go throw away, it could actually be propagated, if you knew somebody that was into that.
Yeah.
So
I'm all the time giving away plants, trees, plants, glues, all kinds of stuff.
Because it'll grow, but you got to keep trimming it back, or it'll overgrow you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You're very welcome. You too, dear. Yep. I can't see you guys. Hold on a second. Oh, there we go. Ooh, that's a farmer's market with only that many knives and stuff. Hopefully you had a lot of people that were interested. You can judge how well you're going to do at a farmer's market in the future by how many people stop and go, geez, I'll remember next week. Farmer's markets for me really required consistency. You have to be there every week, and then they still forget half the time, for sure. What we got? We got about 23 people watching. That's nice. Dave, whittling tools? When you say whittling tools, are you talking about gouges, V gouges and regular gouges, like small ones, not wood turning gouges, but small handheld gouges, or carving tools? I used to use those as a job for 3 or 4 years. I was actually a wood carver in high school. We used to do big signs and did redwood furniture. A monthly market. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around for different comments, but for a monthly farmer's market, that's going to be hard. What you really want to find is a weekly market every week. Every week, people are showing up. Every week, you're there. And you can easily start to turn that into $500 to $1,000 a week in just a few hours, for sure. There are people I know that have do a QR code kind of thing. If you'd like a reminder, scan this QR code and then push yes, and it'll sign them up into a reminder app. And then you can shoot everybody a group text. Let's say you got 300 people that all want reminders when you're going to be at the farmer's market. Then you send out that reminder Friday night for the Saturday morning market. And that's another way you can boost your business that way. Yeah, there's actually programs that aren't too intrusive they can click the button, and then you have to look into it. There's some free ones. Of course, everybody's trying to do a subscription-based customer service. CRM is what I'm trying to say. Customer resource management software. So this one's interesting. This is a skanky old Mac knife. Definitely been put through a washing machine more than a few times. And it definitely looks like somebody. What I don't understand, I just don't understand. This isn't a rant, but how do you Dremel? How do you Dremel with your and you think you're going to do something up in here, and you just Dremel in the sides of the knife? That's amazing that people would do that. So I'm going to. I think we're going to take it over here, drop you down, and I'll get rid of this 36 grit belt. That worked great for the stupid pickaxe, but pickaxe was something else too. You get all these things, man. You can't control them. You know, you just got to put an edge on them. They're going to go throw it in the dirt a bunch more. So this is a 80 grit, I believe. Just make sure I'm got my, 80 grit. Fairly worn. And I could do it on the flat. I could also use the raised platen. The platen is not a miracle thing. What a platen does is, as we discussed before, the platen allows you to not scratch part of the knife because of the way it drops off, and the belt will drop off. And so you got a less chance of scuffing the surface. Now, when you got a knife that you're going to redo the whole surface of the knife, doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to fire this up. I'm actually trying to preserve this for when I need it on a thinning like this one here, where I don't. With this one here, I definitely do not want to scratch up in here. I just want to thin, you know, the bottom 2/3 is my plan. But we'll do that in a later video. I'm just going to try and knock this out for a customer real quick. So down and back on the flat, already looking better, but it'll highlight to me where the damage is and where I'm going to need to, you know, hit it more. Not too worried about this. I'll blend that in with the wheel. I would like to not grind out the Mac because that's kind of cool. So I'm going to focus a lot of my grinding on that front edge. Almost there, but you can still see how the flat surface isn't really flat because we haven't even really removed the original dull patina from there. But we're getting down just a little bit of a snail trail right through there still. Medium pressure. Little snail trail here. I'll push a little harder on the back here, and then I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. We're not in danger of grinding through here. I just want to finish that up, get that out, and get that out. So let's just do that. A little there, a little there. There we go. I'm going to leave that. Maybe I'll get it. Yeah, there we go. Good. And then the back side. So there's a good before. Hopefully that's showing up on the camera. And after. Oh my God. This knife, when you look at the taper, it's flat on the back, and it is, the whole grind is this sided. So this whole side is a grind with a little bit of a convex in it. So it's not just a symmetrical grind. The back side's flat, and this side has got a little bit, and it's got a little bit of a convex to it. There we go. There we go. So now what I'm going to plan to do is use some, it really doesn't have a lot of cushion on it, but I'll be able to do that. I'm doing a slight rocking motion. Yeah. So I've blended together. Cut in down by the spine. A little bit up at the tip is not getting hit. We've got everything else pretty well blended already. Looking really good. Let me just try and focus on the spine a little bit. Ow. Watch your fingers. Okay, that's a beautiful uniform scratch pattern. That was an 80 grit Cubitron P120. And now I'm going to jump to, where are you at? This is one of my new favorite belts, actually. This is a Trizac 100 grit. Trizac A160. Feels like riding on a cloud. It's so smooth with its scratch pattern. It's cool. It just feels soft. And just like that, we've got a really really improved knife. The trick is what to do about the rest of it. That's just a dingo dog. I mean, you're not going to fix that unless you start getting into puttying and welding and Bondo and wood filler. And what I might do, there we go. Clean up that whole back. That looks much nicer. Put a little curve to it. You don't want any sharp edge. And then I can flip it around, being very careful. And there we go. Got it nice and shiny through there. Yeah, shine it up a little bit all the way around. Now, if you're feeling risky, you can try to shine up the like that. Worked out perfect. Flip it over, you know, so I'm still going edge trailing even with the knife. Perfect. So we've upgraded the handle, we've shined it all the way around. think you guys know where we're going from there. Would I lose you? There you go. Chad! Hey, dude. I got a link for the graphite tape for you. It's on my Amazon website affiliate store that I don't talk about much. If you go to amazon.com/shop/currycustomcutlery, it should pull up my affiliate shop. And it's got just the basic things that are my core units and equipment and tools that I use for just situations just like this. So what I just did there is this is what it looked like where I didn't get down in the crotch there. Sorry, the heel of the knife. So that's what it looked like. And then I just used the 600 grit satin wheel to kind of just blend it all together. And maybe I'll use a little eraser to get even closer right down in there. Yep, blended it all together. Lost my tools. I think for as much as I clean up, I wouldn't be able to lose anything, but that's why I keep it cleaned up. All right, so then I'll take this little guy and go right down in that little. There, see if that'll show up. Right there is where I'm getting it out. There you go. The wheels work great, but they don't blend on flat surfaces. They're good at getting in small spaces and whatever, but the problem with a belt is that it can be really, the problem with the wheel is that a wheel has a contact patch that's like my knuckle. And when you put a contact patch like my knuckle on a flat surface, you end up with shiny and like snail trails. And when you put a flat belt like a Scotch-Brite belt, these blend and smooth everything. Okay, now we can actually get to the sharpening on this thing. Yeah, rust erasers are cool. I tried to source them, and I couldn't find a wholesale source for them. Maybe I'll try again. One little nick. So since I identified that this knife has that curve to it, I'm sharpening on the curved side. And then I'll do my single bevel sharpening technique. Go edge trailing on the back, vertical. Cut that burr off. I'm actually lifting up off the platen a little bit because I don't want a large shallow bevel. So it's up just a little. Flat on the back. Angle match. That'll work. That will work. I got a little scuff on that brand new satin polish. Perfect. There you go. Sharp AF. What else we got? Get all the girl names today. Courtney, Ashley. Hello. I think I just covered that. I can't say the name right. Derivative. You can either go on the flat if you want a shallower angle, or you can lean it onto the primary grind of the pocket knife if you want a wider bevel by about 2 degrees. And I'll do both. I'll do either or both. So even though the angle guide is fixed at, say, let's just say it's 16 degrees. If it's a 16 degree angle guide and I come on the flat of the pocket knife, then I'm going to have a 16 degree bevel on the apex. If I lean onto the primary grind of the knife, then I'm going to increase that bevel by about 2 degrees. Which is perfect. So even though the angle guide's fixed in place, it actually has 2 built-in angles because the knife has 2 built-in angles to it. All right, what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, are just some really dull knives. Ooh. Okay, so this one's got a little bit, I thought I saw it in the light. So here's a Tramontina that's getting put to the test. I can see the steel marks from steeling it, scraping up. I can see some buckling right there. I can see the heel has been crushed down. That's from heavy slamming. The person that has this knife is using it very hard. I'm not going to say that they're a hard use, but the knife is buckled and the heel is crushed. And so they're putting this thing to some work. Let's take care of it first, I guess. Hard use. What are we going to do for hard use? Let's go with a medium grip belt. Just because I don't feel like farting around with it. 50 grit. Doesn't matter if I got the Platen on it or not. Couple quick cut-ins. Remove the damage. That angle right there is actually, you know, about 15 degrees. So I'm not tapering and thinning. I'm actually trying to add some strength to the edge. So I got rid of the drop off on the back. Always hold on to the knife firm too. I see some guys that are holding them like they're, you know, You want to hang on to a thing so if it comes loose, you already got your hand on it to keep it from going away or flying away. Tip and walk off. Then you'll get the sharp edge. Cut it off so you don't feel that sharp edge up there. Now we can go ahead and sharpen it. Let me just inspect the other one while I'm here. I'll do the same to this one too. I don't want to remove more material than I need to, but we got to get through the damage, and I want to strengthen up that edge a little bit. So I cut in the clean, I removed the damage, and I did a little bit of a tapering. You can come in on the flat, on the slack, blend the convex in, and then come up to the 240 grit. What this will do is it'll do a couple things. It'll further blend and taper that full front of that knife. Also, it'll give it a really high gloss satin polish and lets people know that you've been there. It's called a signature if you want to. There we go. So how's everybody doing? We got a few people here watching. Appreciate it. Just about on the wrap up end of things. I think I got the giant whirly birds of death to do last. Now I'm gonna. So we did all that edge trailing, and there was a large burr, and I just cut that burr off. Barely pressed that time. Here's that large burr. I don't know if you'll see it. Yeah, you should be able to see it. Just a large burr hanging off. When you go edge leading, that burr disappears. I mean, under a microscope, it disappears. It's gone. Because what you have is the belt comes down and it cuts that burr off. It actually removes the burr. Now these are all dull. And the way I know when I'm done is because this light is critical and it shows me the apex. One of the best videos I ever did was it's a 3-step sharpening process being taught to my son. He was about 10 at the time. No, maybe a little older. But he was holding the camera. He did such a good job recording the video. You can even hear him on the video telling me, "I got it, Dad, I got it." But you can see the white line, and the white line is technically, I guess you'd call it a burr, but it's the metal formation from going edge leading and pushing down, and then it pushes over the apex a little bit, and then that's what the light reflects off of. It's unwanted material that you refine in the second step and then you bring together in the third step, but it's way stronger than a feather burr. Oh boy. So I'm bringing the two surfaces together, but then it's got a full bull nose on it. And so if you watch, I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So here's side by side the difference in those two knives. So I was able to shape precisely how I wanted that profile to be. It's subtle. Hopefully that's showing up on the camera. Probably not. I'm probably just holding blurry knives up. There you go. All right. Cool. Hopefully that showed up. Is that showing up? Am I on camera? There we go. That's all the hard work right there. That's the Cupitron P120, first step. There we go. Cool. I'm gonna leave that with the bitey edge. The leather actually, I would say leather in general is a little more aggressive than felt. Because the leather edge has got a finer bite to it just right off of that than the felt does. The felt, I'd usually have to do 2 swipes, and then if you wanted it to be more refined, I come up and just lightly touch it on the leather. But at a certain point, you have to be careful you buff all the tooth or the bite off of it. But that was I thought that was a really good example of, that's water. Yeah, that's rubbing alcohol. Also really works good as a face cleanser. All right, where'd my bucket go? Ah. Where? Oh, here it is, right here. It's where I always put it. So it's perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, gently. 5. And then the 2 little steak knives. 6, 7. And they look much better. And they're razor sharp from top to bottom. Nice sticky edge on those. Okay. That is a science project. I actually showed that a minute ago. This is, this guy's let me experiment with the edge on his machetes. He has multiple identical machetes. He chops the same thing over and over again, thousands of times. Not using the back end of this thing, it's been dulled. But this cutting edge, and we decreased it. We went from 22 to 20 to 19 to 18, and right around 17 degrees, the edge buckled. And I'm talking about on a thick piece of steel. The edge buckled at 17. And so we brought it up to 18 degrees, give or take, right in there, and it has a slight convex to it, and it's never buckled since. So he was at 22, and they weren't staying sharp long because you're having to put so much force into this blunt snowplow type surface, and by dropping the angle down and putting that little bit of a convex on it, he's able to get the strength and the decreased angle to allow it to slice and penetrate better into the coconut meat, and the edge held. And he's had some that have held for hundreds and hundreds of coconuts, maybe 1,000, I don't know. This edge is still, that's crazy. This is unrehearsed, but I recognize my edge there and I feel it. So that's not, I mean, it's probably not going to push cut freestanding, you know. We're still slicing. God, it feels sharp. It's shaving hair off my arm. I mean, really shaving hair off my arm. Try not to do that too much. Pro tip, come from the side where people don't see it as much. Don't do it in the middle of your arm. That's stupid sharp still. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to, this comes up flat, flat, and then right up at the very top is where it tapers. And I'm going to try and thin it back. So I guess it's good I put on the Platen. I'm going to try and bring it back to about 1 inch back and do a thin. So we're going to get more of a, I don't know what you want to call it, trapezoidal. Instead of it coming straight up and then convexing over at the top like a bullet, I'm going to have the whole thing taper more like an obelisk and then come up, and then we'll put the final edge at about that same angle up on the top. But that's going to be a big grind project. Not really the most exciting YouTube material. To watch some guy just hold a chunk of metal on a belt grinder. The old hairs. Hey, you know, for us guys over here that wear shorts, and if one of the worst decisions I ever made was because it's really a quick, easy test. You know, you just check and see if it catches the hair, even if it just shaves a little hair. Pretty soon you don't have much, and then all of a sudden one day you get the idea maybe I could just shave my leg. That's the beginning of the end right there. What's going on, Zach?
Finally caught you.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's not a secret. What's going on?
Okay, so you replaced the little stubby thing on this one?
Yeah, I did.
It's too small.
Let me see.
Be careful, that blade is exposed.
Okay. This little stubby thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Huh. Don't even remember doing it. Okay. Let me get out the magic kit. I've got a scissor emergency. I got this kit how many years ago now? Come on. There we go. All right, let's see what we got. So we need something with a little bit more oomph to the poomp there.
A little more verticality.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah, it is it's a tricky dicky. I'm the only guy I know that's got a kit of supplies like this. So here's one. Here's what you got. You had this little guy. Hey there. So that's what you had. I got that one that's also about the same overall. Dropping off, or you want me to do it while you're here?
I would love for you to do it right away.
Yeah.
Because it's my only sharp knife.
Okay. All right.
Obviously, that doesn't work.
Then we got.
That does cause a predicament.
Yes.
I've got to pull through. Interesting. Have these been bent by any chance? It's hard to say, huh?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I mean, you can get into this situation where there can be, no, it doesn't feel soft. Some of them will bend.
No, that way, no. That one has been like that.
Yeah, well, they do over time. Give me just a minute, ma'am. I'll get over to you there. Yeah, I got them. This is the only thing I have. And then we can tune it. We can trim it down. It's not a screw in though, we'll have to glue in, which is acceptable. They do make. What was in there originally?
Something like that the head fell off of. And yeah, it did have a bigger head than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, I can't own normal scissors.
No. Ouch.
Those are my primaries.
Are you a hairdresser?
Yeah.
Got you.
Like I said, I always have the weird
Bumper.
Well, somebody has.
Make sure we got our closing properly. And a little bit of glue. And then we'll cut that off. Just a second more and I should be ready to wrap this up.
You don't have to rush anywhere.
Okay.
Almost missed it because your call wasn't out front.
Yeah, I know. And they made us take down all our signs.
There's a lot of filigree on that knife.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I don't know what I would think about someone pulling that out of the field.
It's crazy.
Hold on, let me get that for
Crazy. It also weighs about 2 pounds. It's just ridiculous.
It kind of does look like it would weigh 2 pounds.
It does. All right, so I got that tacked into place. Got to wipe off the excess residue. And then,
I'm leaving these with you, so.
okay. Here we go. So I got the new rubber mount. And then boom. And then we'll just cut off that. Just like that. Perfect.
As you can see, I'm not bringing you any business. Thanks, Dakota. Couldn't go for so long.
Then especially for this guy, no. You want to make sure they close all the way and they're not snagging at the tip. And if it does, so they were crossing over. I think they got bent at some point, but there we go. You, sir, may inspect that. You have
Good, it won't be cutting me anymore.
no, and you have tips that are touching. I made sure that they weren't dragging, you know, to do that, because they have to at least at the very minimum touch.
Right. Well, they cut great. Problem was they were cutting me.
No, well, if you get it too wide and they don't quite touch at the tip,
Right.
then they'll snag.
Ah,
Yeah. So there you go. That's that, and then we're gonna keep these for.
that one needs to be done.
Okay.
Got 5 or 6 notches on.
Nickety nicks,
Yeah,
trickety tricks, nickety nicks.
and it's all the way down the blade, so
Okay.
you'll see them all.
Zach, what's your number, sir?
817
817
932
932
3674.
3674. I'll do them today. Give you a call. They'll be ready for pickup either later today or by tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
See you tomorrow then.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, actually, I won't see you tomorrow. I'll see your.
The auntie, yeah, close enough. She's like a mama. See you, buddy. What you got, dear?
This one
Okay.
and this one.
Oh.
And it seems to be lasting 6 months, but then I am getting very annoyed.
6 months is pretty good.
I think so, huh?
6 months off of a Cuisinart.
But I have.
We've tapered this.
I have
You can
to
see
bring
it.
in before Thanksgiving this time
Okay.
because I had a hard time last year.
Yeah, right. No, we're coming up. It's going to be summer's here now, but you blink, it's going to be the fall. All right, well, let's just put a quick edge on these two. Yeah, we've tapered that. The reason why that stayed sharp so long is we put a custom thinned and tapered edge on that. Which is crazy. Normally a knife like this wouldn't last 6 months. I mean, I could tell it was dull. It's probably been dull for a little while, but that's amazing, actually. Well, then we won't say anything bad about it. Don't say anything bad about my knife. Yeah. Yep.
And I actually have, this is the only knife that is super straight on the bottom.
Ah.
Like all the other ones.
Oh, gotcha.
Like you said.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, I need that. Because
Yep.
of my handicap, I have to.
Well, we can always make it perfectly flat too,
I don't.
but
It's-
if you
I mean,
want.
It's on the way out, right? Because the handles fell off last time.
Oh, okay.
I have to
Well,
super glue it back.
okay. Well, you got lots of life left in this.
Okay.
If it's still going for you, I don't see why it can't go another 5-10 years.
Oh, really? That long?
As long as it don't fall apart.
Well, I mean, I was shocked that the handle things came off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my God.
Yep. Let me wrap them up for you.
Yeah. What did I want to say? Oh, I wanted to ask you the Matsuoto or something. Is that a good knife? I see advertisements
Oh,
for those.
any of the ones you see advertised are probably going to be more money than they're worth.
Okay.
You know, we have Kikuichis. Well, we have Tajiros. Are you looking for something in particular, or?
No, it just, I saw the advertisements all the time and I just thought I'll ask you next time. It
Here's-
seemed to be hammered like a sword kind of thing.
That's part of their marketing.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
these are probably. I mean, you're so used to that little kid there. That's your little buddy.
Yeah, that's my little
How does this feel? It's a very lightweight knife. It's a little bigger, but the handle,
Yeah, it's not.
it doesn't have enough handle. Okay, I see that. So it's got lightweight, but it doesn't have anything nice to really grip on. I see a lot of them are kind of scrawny on that.
And I really like that it's fat,
Chunky.
right? So I can just
Yep.
do that.
Yeah, well, that's if I think of any other chunky ones, and lightweight too. So that is, people like to poo-poo the Cuisinarts a little bit, but I just did one. Looks just like. Now look at the difference. This one actually feels heavier.
Oh, how did that happen?
I don't know.
Well, mine is old.
Older, yeah. Much lighter, yeah.
Yeah. How,
Well, not significantly
but
lighter.
see how much I sharpened it already.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I bought a new one just in case because I can't live without it.
Yep.
And
If they're lasting that long,
I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna use this till it falls apart.
there we go.
All right. How much do I owe you?
$15.
Okay. How about? Do you take cards?
We can do card or cash, either way.
Because I think I'm gonna buy this little orange one.
Okay. Good choice.
Because this, I don't know where I got this knife. My little,
We have two. Actually, I'll bring out the
not orange, it's the white.
Okay. So it doesn't have serrations.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because it's pretty similar to this.
It's very similar.
And I have no idea where I got it.
I've seen knives like that, but it's hard to say, especially with the unique handle.
Well, that I spray painted, right?
Oh.
Because
Okay.
I
'cause-
didn't like white, and it was getting drabby. And
Okay.
so, I'm just spray paint green.
Okay.
It needs another
I'm
coat.
in. I was doing a
Yeah.
little spray painting this weekend too.
Good.
Is that one okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have, big knife for this, and
Yep.
this for certain other ones, and then I have a little not sharp knife from Germany. That's
Yep.
what I call my apple knife.
Gotcha. It'll be 15 and 15. We'll call it $30 altogether.
Thank you.
Yep. And
Oh, it's even a Victorinox.
it is Victorinox, yeah.
Oh, Victorinox.
Yep. So they are, they're, I don't want to say it's a disposable knife, but at $15,
Yeah.
and kitchen guys will keep them in their knife roll
Yeah.
because they want to have that little paring knife. But if they lose it or it gets dull, they don't care. We can keep that going a long
I was actually shocked that you could actually sharpen this one because it is a...
We can even sharpen the serrations on the small ones.
Oh, yeah, to me it's flat. It's
I would say for sure.
like when I do apples because of my handicap, I
Yep.
do this,
Yep.
right? And then I do this because I have more
Yep. And
precision
you know exactly how to do it and not
and cut myself.
get the wrong parts in the wrong spot. That's right.
Yeah.
Nobody needs the.
Peel or not if I want to cut an apple in my lap. I have literally the blade is only this big.
Yeah.
And it's not very sharp.
Yeah.
It's good because if I touch myself, it's fine,
We used to have an apple orchard in the backyard, and my grandpa would pull an apple. He had the tiniest little pocket knife. And he peeled an apple with and it wasn't sharp.
Yeah. That's what I call my German apple knife. Awesome.
There we go.
Glad I called you before lunch because for 2 weeks already I'm like, ooh, I need to come.
No, and you know exactly when now. Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, good.
That's my days.
Okay.
All right, dear.
Is that the only days you're in?
I'm in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can drop off on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay, good. And the other question was, how are you connected to Lily Ha?
Lily and I have been Hanai family for over 25 years.
Nice. Because
So-
I was so surprised to see her. I haven't
Yeah.
seen her
No.
since I don't live up country anymore.
She's
and I'm
the-
like, I know you.
She's the godmother to my children, and we've been very close for 25 years. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, she's an amazing lady.
Yes.
Thank you, dear.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. You guys still with me? Kinda? That, get a little sense of the community here, even though we are, Maui's a fairly large island. There's still a lot of people know each other, and our friends and family know each other, which is very cool. Lilia is the auntie that works here part-time with us. She's responsible for a lot of the shipping and receiving. I won't throw her under the bus. but she is literally a sweet, sweet lady. And so she takes her time and tries to do the thing. The problem we've had, for those that are here tuning in, is huge apologies. Is we're doing 100, 200, 300 orders a week, and we have 50,000 belts on the shelf. We run out of a certain belt and the system doesn't update properly, and so it lets people keep ordering that belt. And so one belt that we're out of, we still have all these other belts, but that one belt, then that order gets held up. And so we'll have 30 orders that go out and 2 orders that gets held behind. And if that happens every day, it doesn't take very many weeks before we got 10, 20, or 30 people going, where the heck's our products? And we're really sorry about that. What we have going on is I've got 7 boxes on the way. It's 700 pounds. It's over 5,000 products, and they're coming, and we're double overstocking all of our stuff so that when you click the button, it's available and you guys can get it. We're trying to get that all here right before the 4th of July sale. That's going to be in about 2.5 weeks from now. So we're getting close to it. And we also have 150 diamond wheels coming. We have most of the Scotch-Brite wheels coming. The leather wheels were supposed to be here and they shipped them the wrong way. We're trying to get everything all stocked up to have one of the biggest 4th of July sales we've ever had. And we even have some new, I've mentioned it already, but I'm not going to mention it again today, but we got some new announcements coming out. First I got to make sure the products are here, and I look at them and double check them one more time, but we have some pretty cool stuff going to happen in the next little bit. Shall we finish off with something crazy? I won't speak directly about the new belts, but I will say that this belt right here, I've sharpened probably close to 100 knives on it, and it still looks pretty damn good. That's a wannabe Trizac A30. Ah, dang it, now I'm going to talk about it. Chad, thanks. There you go. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool from getting excited. You know, this whole thing has been, I was gonna say, I'm jumping around now. It must be lunchtime. You know, these little products, these little Japanese erasers, I just want to have them. I want to have them so that you can click a button and you can get them. I don't need to make a profit off of everything we make. Sometimes it's just important to have the product so that we can all do our job. That's what will bring you to me, is in my theory, is that if I've got all the cool stuff that we all want to use. I use this thing every day. I tried. I mean, I spent days and nights of my life online trying to find the source, and I finally found the source of these, and they wouldn't sell it to me wholesale. And I said, well, just give me a case of them for retail and I'll mark them up $1 or whatever, pay for the shipping cost. But I try, you know, and it's not always about having this huge profit margin, but the idea is to have the cool stuff that we all need and want and use. I can point out to a couple other products. I don't need to mention them by name, but I'm not getting them at wholesale. So not everything is about making a fast buck here. The cool thing is, though, is that I've been approached and presented with a new product line that I don't see anybody else that has, which gets me all giggly inside. And I test it, and it absolutely crushes it. So I'm proud to offer it. And we're going to start releasing it, a couple different things. One in particular, though, that's exceptional. And we're going to start by offering it in the 1x30, and specifically the A30. And there's only going to be about 100 of them, so people are going to grab them. And then my next shortage is already here, because then I got to get that belt in 5 grits for 5 different sizes of machine, 1 by 18, 1 by 30, 2 by 36, 2 by 42, 2 by 48, and 2 by 72, 5 grits. And I've got to get, 50 belts in each of those sizes. So we're talking thousands of belts of the new ones to fully stock. But one step at a time, the belts will be out. I'm rambling, aren't I? I'm definitely rambling. Thanks, Chad. I end up talking about it anyways. Anyways, they're coming. 1 by 30 guys. You're going to be stoked. You're going to be my testers. Feedback is critical. I need to know how you guys feel about these products. The one product I can talk about, because it is what it is. These are ceramic belts. They are, if they look familiar, if they look red and they have a label on them, or if they don't actually say a name on them, like VSM, but they certainly could be, you'd be forgiven if you were to mistake these for something of a similar ceramic variety. And these are going to be super affordable too. So up to this point, I've not wanted to muddy the waters, and I've just stuck directly with Cubitrons because they crush it, and Trizacs because they crush it. They're the best value. They're more expensive, but they last longer than anything. They run cooler. But now we have an opportunity to offer a Pro Value series, and if the prices are right, I think they're going to beat everything else out on the market, and they're as good as any other ceramic belt that's out there. I would say they're even going to be very similar to the Boras, which are just a cool purple color. It's still just a ceramic belt. So these are coming, and the other ones are coming. And we're going to start rolling these out. Yeah, that's part of the deal, man. We're actually, it's like chasing a moving vehicle that's accelerating and trying to jump onto the back of it. As I order 1,000 belts, now by the time the belts get here, we need to have 2,000 belts. And so I've actually ordered 4,000 belts to get ahead of the volume increase and keep our supply ahead of our demand. These are beautiful problems to have. I'm grateful for everybody to be here. And again, I'm really sorry that the system let people click the button when it shouldn't have. And that was the biggest mistake. So we're doing a full inventory count. Me and my kids are actually coming. I've hired them on their summer break to come here. And we're going to count every belt and put the settings back into the computer, and then we have the new products to add in. The first products that are coming, in case I said it too fast, is 1 by 30. So we have a couple different samples, but the order is for 100 ceramic. When I say ceramic, you guys know what I mean. The coarse grit ceramic P120s. Here's a few of them right here. They're not as smooth running as the Cubitrons. They last, and I'm just rough balling it because I keep trying them myself. I'm used to the Cubitrons for half a decade now. They run about 30 knives. And they do settle down. The first couple are pretty rough. If you're running a 2-inch machine, I think you'd probably be very happy with the cost to value performance curve on these. But once they settle down, you can sharpen 20 to 30 knives. I'm used to the Cubitrons that are at 50 to 60 knives, and I give them a salute and throw them away. But the other ones, holy mackerel, they are... Well, I want to under-advertise and over-deliver, so I want to see what other people's opinions are about them. And we'll have the Pro Value Series is what I'm calling them. They look and act and feel like a structured abrasive that we're all familiar with. And I'm still running that belt. I love it. It's working great. It hasn't wore out yet. We'll have those in the A30. And so we'll have 100 P120s ceramics and 100 A30s for the initial deal. And then once I get confirmation that everybody likes those are going to be a good addition to what we're offering people, then we'll go ahead and roll them out in all the grits for all the sizes. Well, we'll start probably with 1x18, 1x30, and maybe a couple 1x42, and we won't do the full grit range for all of them off the bat, which is just how we expanded this whole thing anyways. We started with a few, and now we have a larger, I don't know of many places that have from 100 grit to 4,000 grit all in Trizac in one place for all the machine types. All right, you guys want to see something dangerous, and let's call it lunchtime? Let's go. Thanks for letting me ramble. Chad, the sale's 4th of July. All right. Edge trailing, 50 grit or 80 grit? 50 grit. The reason why is because what we're grinding on is a chunk of steel that's about a 1/4 inch thick. Doesn't take a lot. I just want to keep the same profile. I don't want to sharpen just the edge and bullnose this thing. We're actually angle matching the entire surface. Holding it so that if it was to catch, I'm holding it firmly, but if it was to catch, there's nothing in the way. Bring up a burr. Bring up a burr. Until I've done this once or twice. Now, I used to go do it on the other wheel, but then the last 2 steps, there you go. Same deal. Move the burr back to the front. That'll loosen and knock the burr off. Usually I'll go one more time from the back. There we go. Really knock that burr off. Strop from the front. Strop from the front. Lightly from the back. Lightly from the back. Walk away. One more, same thing. Check and make sure you got a burr. want to make sure you got a burr so that then you can remove it. I'm trying not to remove more material than necessary. I see these blades about once every 3 weeks, and I've been doing them for 3 years. And I've told them they're getting down, they're getting thin. They also don't ever take them apart. But so I'm just removing that burr. And then I'm trying to do it left-handed. All right, let's not do that. I decided to see if it will shave. It'll shave, it's just thick. And then we do a last little cleaning protocol. And that'll be done. I think that's it for today, you guys. I think that does it. You guys got any questions before I go? While I'm cleaning up these last knives. Oh, got mailman. Congratulations, Roy. Your package is going out. Hey.
Great.
Yeah, what do we got? Oh, we got one came back.
What, coming back?
Yeah, that's for me. Right on.
Thank you.
Okay, brother. Woohoo! Lennon, I do ship to Australia. We actually have a fairly affordable Australian rate. Not that everybody can get their package under 4 pounds, but the under 4 pound packages are like under 20 bucks sometimes. We try to have a pretty decent rate. For the longest time, I actually absorbed the cost myself, which means I ate it because we wanted to be able to provide the products to our international guys. And so sometimes, you know, like the shipping would be 35 and 45 on the website, small box and big box, which is the simplified way we have our system set up. And the truth is some of the boxes were costing upwards of 85, and they still do, but we now have some better methods available to us that have really brought down the cost. It'll still never be cost effective to order a single belt and want it to be shipped to Canada, Norway, or Australia because it's a single belt. They have minimums. You know, I don't send things out in an envelope. So we use we have small boxes, medium boxes, and large boxes. The best thing you could do, I mean, if it's going to be heavy, it's going to be heavy, and there's nothing you can do about it. The heavy boxes usually run about $40 to $50 US in shipping. There's still quite a few times where we still absorb a little bit of the cost to make it affordable. Oh, nice. these out of the way. But Australia is probably our second largest. Australia for sure is our first largest international customer, which is super cool. I've been to Australia once. I lived in Indonesia for a year when I was a scuba dive master guy. In a previous lifetime, I was a dive master, and I went to Indonesia, and I fell in love with the place, so I moved there for a year. That was amazing. And so I got to meet a lot of Australians and your sworn enemy, the New Zealanders. Just kidding. Actually, my best buddy was a New Zealander. And a lot of surfers down there. Of course, a lot of Australian surfers. I'm not a surfer. I'm a scuba diver. But then we took a trip back, and we got back to Australia. And my wife, who's Indonesian, Australia wouldn't let her come into the country because her medical clearances, they had very stringent medical requirements to get into the country. And she had went and gotten a lung test, and like the TB and all these different tests. And then they said that wasn't good enough, and she had to go back. And to go back here, you have to fly to another island over here in Hawaii, and we didn't have enough time. So it ended up me and my two kids alone in Australia for a week. And we tried not to have fun, as we took the ferry boat out past the Opera House and over to the cool zoo. And, of course it was cool the first time. But we have loads of friends and friends I've never met, but I call them friends, that I'd love to go to Australia and meet. And we've even talked about having a roundup, kind of a sharpening convention there in Australia. Of course, my wife and my kids would come, and so it would be a vacation, but also we could have a sharpening event, because we've had 3 Western Sharpener roundups now. I'm planning something for maybe to be here in Hawaii, and it would be really neat to connect the dots and because I know Australia's got such a cool sharpening community over there. Anyways, tell me what you think about that, you guys. That'd be fun. Yeah, man. There's some of the nicest guys around for real. Oh, there's one guy down there though. I don't know where he's at, but he works out of the back of his pickup truck, and he calls me every dirty name in the book. He said, "I wouldn't let you sharpen my shoe. You suck." I'm like, okay. He made sure to let me know that I'm not good at what I do. And okay. But all the rest of you guys make up for it, for sure. I mean, some of my closest online friends are all from down there, and I hope we get to go back up that way again. We will, for sure, in the next few years, so that'll happen. The next event happening is going to be, it's not officially been advertised yet, but Wolf is putting on their Sharp Show. Everybody knows the Wolf Show is going to happen, and I believe it's in the end of this year, and I've been invited to come teach at the event and to vend at the event. So I'm going to have some new products while I'm there, and then I've got some new material. We're very close to releasing a sharpening training program. I've got it. I've finally put it together. I've pushed through my own fear of not having it be good enough, and I've taken the time, I've dialed it in. It starts at the very beginning. It starts for those that have no experience sharpening. It'll walk you through the introduction to what sharpening is. I'm specifically, my goal is you be able to walk out that door, put on a hat, and go sharpen at any farmer's market and sharpen any kitchen knife that you come across with confidence, and any garden tool. And fabric scissors, all the basic things. Not clipper blades, not hair scissors, not commercial stuff. If you need any of that, if you need commercial stuff done, talk to Chad. He's right here in the chat with us. He's one of the he's on top of his game for sure. He's on the short list of guys I'd like to go visit. Let's just put it that way. So I might be coming to hang out with you at some point, Chad. Just saying. Anyway, so we got the training program. We're working on it. And then we got the 4th of July sale. And then we got the sharpening event coming up. And that'll be in November. And other than that, I think I'm going to sign off here, you guys. I hope everyone's having a good day. If you need anything, go to shop.currycustomcutlery.com. And I appreciate you guys. Aloha. Hey there. Let me shut this down. Roman, thanks for the tip too. I appreciate that. Appreciate all you guys. Have a great day.